Hey, Walking Dead heads, thanks for joining us on The Broken Dead today. We are talking The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 13. So we've got some news, teasers, and speculation about what's to come for you. Stick around. This is The Broken Dead. Alright, so guys, this is Dylan.
I'm Quin. Hi.
And once again, thanks for joining us today. Whether you're new to the show or returning, we're glad to have you guys along for the ride. And I hope you join us live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, potentially on TikTok coming up, on Trovo now, and maybe even on Twitter. So every Sunday, 10 p.m.-ish, Central Standard Time. Usually Sundays are pretty busy, so we're trying to... I barely got the episode watched before, to be honest with you. So it's a lot to process, a lot going on, but we're going to talk about it, and hopefully you guys will chime in and let us know what you think in the chat. So please like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon so you know when we drop new videos and when we do go live on whatever platform you're watching. And don't forget to check out that website at www.broken.pictures.com. And I should be revitalizing that website here sometime soon, as soon as I get some time where I'm not feeling sick. Anyways. All right, so yeah, special notes in it. Just stay healthy out there, and prayers for the Ukraine and all that jazz. Hopefully we can still do this, even though we might be on the cusp of World War III. Also, RIP to one of the Renard brothers in Northwest Arkansas. They are some documentary filmmakers that are Arkansas natives, and they've done quite a few good things. They're award winnings. They're over there in the Ukraine, and one of the brothers was killed by Russian troops over the weekend. So hearts go out to his family. Unfortunately, I never got to work with them, but I know a lot of people who did, and from what I understand, they were great guys. Or one brother's still alive, one was killed. So yeah, just stay healthy out there. Hopefully on the back end of a pandemic. So do what you need to do. Make sure we don't get another spike, or hopefully this whole thing is coming to an end. So
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Excuse me, that was not on purpose. I'm a school photographer, so I'm constantly dealing with just regular stuff, not just that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I'll pass it off to you here, Quin.
Hello. If you haven't left now, this is your last chance, because this is your spoiler alert. In this episode of The Broken Dead, we're going to be talking about Season 11, Episode 13. Warlords. If you haven't watched that, pause this, go watch that, and then come back. You have been warned.
Yes. So, yeah, do you want to go ahead and give your episode intro?
I didn't realize how deep it actually sounded. I have it in my ear. Playing.
You got that narrator voice.
Season 11, Episode 13, Warlords. Maggie, Lydia, and Elijah help a stranger from another community called Riverbend. That's a lie. They
Just around the Riverbend. Sorry.
They ran into Aaron, who tells them about a mission he embarked on with Gabriel as emissaries for Commonwealth.
Yeah, some of the English, the grammar is kind of off on these descriptions. So when you try to read them, they just kind of don't flow, because I guess they're just trying to be conservative with the,
They give them 180 characters.
Yeah, exactly.
for a description.
Yeah, they're trying to fit it all in. Yeah, the economy of letters here. That's why Walmart is Walmart, because it was supposed to be Walton Mart, but save that money on 3 letters.
I don't need We don't
when
need
when you're printing multiple things, that adds up. You know what I mean?
So, cut the ton out, put a dash. We'll call it a day.
Yeah. My uncle used to call it Walmart because my last name's Law. But anyways, that's just weird. Weird family history.
Dylan knocked on a door. He knocked on the door. I was like, I don't think we're going to go in here today. All right. Let's...
Yep. So, just to kind of let you guys know, if you've got AMC Plus, you do get the episodes early, and that's why we're on episode 13 rather than 12, which is airing tonight on the channel on AMC.
Yes.
So you can go back and watch our last episode from last week for that.
Because it's already out, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, who's grandma that has become? All right. Let's rate this episode.
Yeah, let's do that before we get off.
Who went first last time?
I did, because you said you go first.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to give this episode and this is the first one of this part of the season, a 10. A 10. a 10 CIA agents out of 10. Because this episode did a thing that I didn't realize that I liked, which was telling the same story from multiple different angles, leading up to a point where they all then collide into one big old mess. So, and then, surprises.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to make a little adjustment to the lights real quick.
Okay. So, it not to get into too much, because we're waiting on Dylan's, rating, but this episode was, because I look like charcoal on the screen. I mean, it's okay.
Just trying to brighten you up there.
Thank you.
It might just be the angle we're sitting too. Why it looks darker than it should be. But
all right.
Brighten you up a little bit.
So what are you gonna rate this episode?
I'm gonna go I enjoyed it. I'm gonna say let's go with a 9. Let's go with a 9. Oh man, I wish I'll just do the stupid route, or the low-hanging fruit, the easy route. 9 Warlords out of 10, because that's the episode title.
That's the episode title. All right, 9 Warlords out of 10. So the episode
Warlords, because it's shady who the actual warlord is here.
It is a term dealt out by the Commonwealth.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a term I think Maggie's gonna be getting to. So,
well, I mean, so I wish they would wait to announce these spinoffs until the end of the season.
Yep.
So that we know
at least
who's got plot armor and who doesn't.
Because Maggie and Negan.
Yeah.
Well, sorry.
Maggie and Negan and Daryl and Carol.
They're
who else we got?
Up there just went safe.
I mean, they might as well just go ahead and announce an Aaron and Gabriel one, because they're another great duo.
So, they are. But at the start of this episode, when Aaron went to go see Gabriel and he started talking to him, which is good to see Gabe back in his actual element.
Feeling himself.
Yeah, he's
being good again.
I'm back where I was. Everything's good. I haven't
but
had to hurt anyone alive.
Like Toby Carlson, he can flip that switch.
Boy, how did he flip that switch.
Dead-Eye Gabe on the job.
I was really feeling like, because from seeing the trailer from last week for this episode, and then the beginning of this episode having Gabriel and Aaron back together, I'm like, oh no, they're about to kill a whole bunch of people. By accident, quotations.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It ended up not being any of that. What were you about to say?
I was just saying they set it up really well to make Toby look like he was
an idiot.
Yeah, a complete idiot. Like just, yeah. I mean, even like from the B story with Maggie to just that lead in right there with that kid. You know, it was like, oh, Mr. Carlson, why don't you know?
And I'm like, oh, that's the kid who got shot. We missed the whole beginning part where Lydia was about to leave.
Yeah. They timed it out and put everything in order very, very well.
We did.
Yeah. I mean, he just looked like some crazy person who's like, how many have you done so far? 4. It's like, okay. and of course, we trust Gabriel and Aaron, who've been doing this. And Aaron has even done this like before, being a part of NGO, like he said. But he did that for Alexandria, and he's the one that brought Rick and that whole crew in. And now he's doing it for the Commonwealth. Yep. But man, you don't not tell Aaron and Gabe what's going on. No, or you're gonna catch the wrong side of them.
Yep. And so they have.
You caught the spiky side of Aaron's fist.
So let's backtrack just a hair, because there's one important thing Maggie did, and Maggie said that the conversation in the car, they have running cars again.
Yeah, well, I remember they had ethanol, and the Commonwealth brought a whole bunch, and they actually took some of their stuff.
So, but I didn't think they would have any like actual functioning cars, only because the season that Michonne left, was that last season?
No, I think it was the season before.
Season before last, where we had Michonne and like just they were going through. They had like they took cars apart and they were just carriages now, and that's what everybody was doing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I didn't think they would have any cars with any like actual working parts anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so to see them like in a truck, I was like, whoa, they're driving. This is weird.
Yeah, because they reformatted Daryl's motorcycle to run off of ethanol, and he's been riding that the whole time. Even though that still doesn't make sense in the zombie apocalypse, where you don't want to make too much noise. Like dude uses a crossbow because it's quiet.
Yep.
And then gets on his motorcycle. That was a horrible motorcycle impression,
but we got the gist.
Yeah. I'm all nasally, so I can't. My throat's hurting.
So yeah,
my throat is hurting.
He picks one of the loudest one of the loudest forms of transportation you could possibly have, in a thing where you're fighting things that deal with, oh, there's something over there, I hear it.
It's almost like, I hate to get down on it again. I mean, I know that it's a TV show, but it seems like you got to have things be consistent, and it's they only seem to come now when they're trying to call them. Like Lance out there firing a little pistol.
They're always conveniently by. But it is a TV show. Digging too much into it. All right. But Maggie and Lydia had a conversation, which probably it is the conversation.
Well, I mean, Lydia was headed out, and then old Elijah was like,
you need an escort? Why you asking? 'Cause you cute. I didn't say that.
And his buddies over there like, look what I did. Tell him to shoot a shot.
So, but yeah, he was smooth about to say, I could come with you just to see.
He was saved by the kid got shot.
By the kid who got shot, who did not stop riding until he got there. But oddly enough, one of the first like huge misdirects of the show, we think that he got this map from, we didn't know who at the time, and he didn't get to say the message that he had because he died.
Yeah. He said they're liars, yes, or something like that. I was like, what?
It's like, damn, you've lost a lot of. He's dead. But then we get in the pickup truck. Maggie and Lydia have the conversation of what they used to do, what she used to do, what her dad did, what Herschel did.
Yeah, it was nice to hear about Herschel.
Yeah.
Even though it was like the old version of Herschel, who was like, this is my farm and nobody else,
Yeah. The Herschel who decided to keep zombies in the barn. It's cool.
So maybe Maggie's acting the way she is, because in retrospect, she's not happy that it didn't turn out well letting Rick and them in.
Yeah. Rick? Rick and them in? Oh.
Yeah, season 2.
Ooh, I forgot all
when.
about that.
Yeah, because he didn't want to let him in the first
did
place,
not.
and it was only because Carl got shot.
But he's like, oh, come on in. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, her life, who knows what could have happened. We could, it would be really neat if we got one of those, how we got alternate timeline for Michonne, alternate timeline for Maggie. I don't know if we want to go that far back.
Alternate timeline?
Yeah, like well, it showed like Michonne. It did the thing with Michonne where if they hadn't have picked her up and Negan found her and she was with Negan and she was there at the beating circle.
When did we do this?
The season Michonne left. 'Cause it's there. If you saw it, it'll all just like rush back to you.
Probably.
Yeah, because she ended up like getting killed by Daryl, like when the war happened.
I'm trying to remember the circumstance. I remember what you're talking about, but I'm trying to remember like why did they do that to show the?
It was she was either hallucinating or it was.
That's what it was. It was when we first met. What's his name? Virgil. Yeah, and he had her hallucinating when she went to look for Rick. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. She straight up got killed by Rick.
Yep.
Because she was a savior. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that was nuts.
I want one of those from Maggie to see what happened. Or what they would say would happen. But then again, we might see it anyway. But yeah, Maggie told Lydia the story of developers coming, wanting to buy their land, and what Herschel did to just wait them out. There was a drought. They were giving them food because they weren't able to grow anything. They weren't able to like sustain things in the way they were or the way they normally would. But she said her daddy knew that the drought would eventually end, and so we just had to wait them out. So every time they brought food, they wouldn't touch it. They just let it waste. And
which seems like nonsense to Elijah and Lydia.
Yep.
On the surface, but if you're thinking long term.
Yeah. Because 10 years ago, also they were kids. They were younger.
I'm
than
sure
Carl.
that didn't make sense to her at the time either.
Yeah. And Lydia has always, like her rebuttal to it was, my mama we always lived by just getting by. And I'm at a point, it's like I got to a point where I don't think she was right. And I would like everything to be the same.
She doesn't know what normal is.
Yeah.
So she has nothing to compare it to is what gets me.
So she wants to see what it is. And that's what her argument is. And Elijah's like, I'm kind of on board too. I'm tired of having to wake up every morning and put on a mask and go, I am vengeance. Who could blame him, honestly?
I mean, it's a sweet deal, but it's experience talking. Maggie knows through her experience with multiple other communities and people who seem well, the governor himself, and even
Terminus?
Yeah, Terminus and several other places that seem good on the outside, and the percentage of those who actually turned out good was Alexandria, Hilltop.
Yeah. And they even had their own problems. But I think the kicker of all of it is they were places, they were safe havens created in the apocalypse. From what I can tell of Commonwealth as it is in this show, it is just like they never hit the stop or pause button. It's just been the same running tape since the outbreak happened, and they just adapted, evolved, and then evolved around the nucleus of the old world. And they haven't stopped, and so now they figured out how to do it, and they have the kind of people within their community and running their community who
Where am I going? I've lost my train of thought. Who know how to keep the things that they want the way that they want them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's a slippery slope. Just like, I mean, think about like when we were going through the whole 9/11 thing with the Patriot Act and all that kind of stuff. Was like, there's that quote by Benjamin Franklin that says, you know, if you give, I'm paraphrasing very heavily here, but something to the effect of, if you give up something in the name of, if you give up your liberties in the name of fear, then you never deserve them in the first place, or something to that effect. And so that's kind of like where they're at. Where, I mean, you've got the constant threat, and it's easy for something fascist like whether it's Lance or Pamela or a little mix of both spearheading this thing. It's very easily to have people give up their freedoms for the greater good, or to, you know, oh, we're not going to be able to succeed with the world out there, and don't, you know, we'll protect you and all that stuff. And I mean, so that's kind of where they're at right now. It's like you fall in line, or you don't have freedoms, you know. Yeah. Like what's her name's brother that was a doctor, they just straight up took him in and forced him to work that job, even though that's not what he wanted at all.
Not what he wanted.
So right. You don't really get a choice.
And they probably would have never found out if she hadn't shown up.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy.
Yeah, he's kind of upset about that.
Yeah, I will be too. I'm happy making cakes. So, and that also proves true. Like the point you just made, just proves true as well, because Lance to Carlson also says, Carlson's like, hey, what if they, when I'd have to tell them what we're really here doing, what do I do? It's like they'll fall in line.
Yeah, working some, I mean, ex-CIA operative. Excuse me, like into some like KGB stuff where, you know, I understand there are black ops, and there are certain things that are unsavory that have to be done, like some evils that you have to kind of like live with and deal with in order to have the freedoms that we have. You know, war is not what anybody would choose, but and you know, some people would say, well, is there? I mean, I don't know. I've never run a community, or I've never had to make those sacrifices. But this dude Carlson is like, he is a straight up warlord. Like,
yeah.
You could tell, like, he needed that zen, because as soon as Lance started whetting his appetite, he dipped his finger in that alcohol, and
he
I just want a taste of that again, you know.
Do you enjoy living? Just like, just all as calm as he could. It's like,
I know, for somebody like Lance, who's usually not used to having people push back like that. Like, I think Lance was, even though he's a master manipulator, he was still kind of shaking in his boots a little bit.
Yeah, he was like, all right, hold on, all right. I put a drop of blood in the water, and this shark eyes just went.
Yeah, for real. Like, when he first dipped his finger in there and said that, I thought that he had like a little, like a finger condom. You know how like they use in kitchens?
Yes.
I thought he had one of those that had like some poison on it, and then he pulled his finger out and licked it, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? And but then later on, when he had put his armor on and he had gone full warlord after having like, do you feel that? The exhilaration? Where we just thought he was a nut job. I mean, he's still a nut job, but a different type of nut job. He's a dangerous nut job. But yeah, he poured that alcohol out on his finger, started rubbing it on his gums like a crackhead. And this guy, he's one of those people that, like, you need to stay away from the alcohol, my man.
Before you're sober.
He needs that zen. He needs to meditate. Like,
so
you awaken the wrong shark, bro.
So before we get on the rooftop with him wearing his armor, kicking people off,
I believe you.
Whoosh. So the way that we're introduced to Toby Carlson is that he is an idiot.
Yeah, he just seems like a complete idiot.
He seemed like he was
naive.
He was like, yeah, everything's great. It's gonna be fun. Like that freaking
I just need you to trust me.
Camp counselor in any horror movie that was That's just, that's definitely
Let's follow that eerie sound. Let's see what that's about.
So, and I'm just like, this dude's gonna get them killed, or he's gonna get killed, and then we finally get up here to this.
What's interesting though is that Aaron and Gabe saw through it. They didn't know exactly what it was, but they saw through it in the very beginning. And they're like, "Your plan is shit, bro." like you're gonna get somebody killed. And Aaron was like, "No. He's right. He's right. he's out of line, but he's right."
So yeah, and he's like, "It's fine. All right." He's like, "We got the radio." Hey, Sergeant, I don't remember your name. And he turns around annoyed. Yeah, we got a copy.
I don't know that anybody knew that he was Mr. Black Ops.
No, and that's the scary thing. I think that's going on is that everybody within at least Lance's inner circle is probably from that line of work, and Lance could also be as well, and he's just now like it's just tamed, and he's tamed himself, but come face to face with what someone would call a legendary actual assassin, Lance is like, I can't beat him in a fight, so I need to steer this somewhere else. So
played to his soft side of, under 20s being killed.
Which were they?
Yeah, his soldiers, his fellow soldiers, his comrades.
There's something else going on here too, because we still don't know who took the guns.
Yeah, and Lance mentioned that there was some other thing that Toby seemed to know what he was talking about. So, I mean, obviously, helping out these hick towns are a front for something else that he's got going on, and that plays to. I still think he's the leader of the resistance. I think that's what that is, and that's how he's getting guns and stuff. Is he's pretending, oh no, some rogue thing just killed our people, but it's actually his underground forces that are.
What if he's
seizing them?
I'll make this super short. What if Lance? We've kind of already decided. I think you can tell me if I'm wrong. That he's playing some sort of game of chess with himself in some way. Just haven't figured out.
To seize power from Pamela or something.
But what if he is behind the resistance? What if he's amassing it so that someone else can take the fall? You get what I mean? Like,
so he can pretend it's somebody else so that he can just step in, and what do you mean?
So, not so that he can step in. So, like, he's building everything up, and like, the leader of the resistance, they don't know who it is or anything like that. And then the leader just miraculously disappears, but then lo and behold, situations align, and now Mercer's in that spot. And now, hold on.
For a second, I thought you were talking about like an Emperor Palpatine type thing.
Yes, but no. Like, Mercer's the leader of the resistance because situations aligned to where Mercer got put into that position, just so that he's
framing Mercer so it looks like he's the leader, so that he can like jail Mercer and then take over the forces or something.
Take over the forces, and then that's how
it's been him all along.
Yeah, it's been him all along, and that's his mulligan, because then if you actually control the army, you can take out Pamela. Because Mercer's too loyal at this moment to turn on Pamela, and he won't work with Lance.
Yeah.
So Lance needs a way to have an in to where he can actually have control of the military, besides just ordering around a few soldiers.
So yeah, he's playing chess, and he's setting Mercer up for a checkmate. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. because I definitely think that we're coming to the place where Mercer is going to be trading sides, and I think that 6-month moment, like the way it's going now, I could definitely see that it's straight up. It is what it is on the surface, but that's rarely the case. So I think that with Daryl and Mercer being in that regiment, I think it's a front for them working with Maggie to uproot the Commonwealth or something to that effect. That there's something else going on. That they're playing. They're just playing surface level.
Playing ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, just until they can get their own checkmate. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Alexandria is gonna be the final battle staging ground. Go ahead and call that now.
Not Hilltop. You don't think it's gonna be
I
Hilltop?
don't think it's gonna be Hilltop. I think it's gonna be Alexandria.
What do you think of that?
Because they're building Alexandria back up, and Aaron's not there. And whoever is there, it might be a Commonwealth person who's in charge. They're going to turn Alexandria into a little bit of a fortress. And then when we get to that 6-month point, that's gonna be. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Lance's base of operations.
Oh, okay. I can see that. Yeah, because everybody I'm thinking of that could be back there at Alexandria, there's nobody really there. I mean, Carol, Daryl, Jerry, Ezekiel, they're all at Commonwealth. Yeah, which is weird that all the leaders just decided.
It's like, I'm gonna go eat cake. Peace, y'all.
I know. Yeah, I mean that's kind of crummy of them. You know, Aaron's been there since day one, and then they get what they want, and they just like trade it and go take advantage of the next step. It was just a stepping stone for them. That kind of sucks, but
I mean,
it's the apocalypse.
It's the apocalypse. Statistics show that Alexandria will be attacked again.
Yeah, for sure.
So, because I also think there's like something.
Even Rosita, Gabriel, like everybody.
Yeah. I also think there's something a bit poetic in them having to be the ones to raid Alexandria.
Yeah, that does leave Alexandria wide open to be Lance's base of operations. That's a good point, my man.
Ding. But yeah. Oh, okay. So back to the actual episode though.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, that'll set up to where he's really close, so they can have that out with Hilltop right there too.
Yep. It's actually quite exciting. So Aaron, Gabriel, little kid whose name I don't know. He's not a little kid. I'm pretty sure he's in his 20s. Intern.
Dude got killed?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then Carlson they go to the apartment complex. Aaron does his thing where he's like, hey, we left you food. You ate it, so that means, can we come in and talk? Lady comes out, whose name we still do not know.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously she's a badass. She got a shaved head, right?
Shaved head, and she was walking around not holding.
Just call her Furiosa for argument's sake. Not quite alpha.
Not quite
Furiosa.
Alpha. I was getting some hard Mad Max vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. They're definitely those type of warlords. I think we mentioned that last week too.
Yeah.
But okay, now I wonder who would win between Furiosa and Alpha. I think Furiosa. Yeah. Alpha's nothing without a horde.
No. Alpha's like strength comes from the fact that she can do.
Yeah, he's just doing that in the desert, walking up, just like Furiosa would be like,
who's that? So, but
even like a fist fight, I think Furiosa got her.
Yeah. Comes out, bald head, has her scythe just hanging off her neck, just walking around, asking for everybody's weapons. I think the second I think they did a weird thing where they did everyone's danger level based off the weapon that they handed them. If that makes any sense. The intern just handed over a little pocket knife.
Oh, I missed that.
Gabriel handed over his machete. Aaron handed over his also machete. I forgot what the curved one's called. It's also a type of machete. It's usually used for whacking at leaves.
Scimitar.
And then Carlson handed over a gun. So,
but Aaron got to keep his spiky fist.
Because it's a bitch to take off.
Yeah. Which was I don't know. That seemed a little naive on their part. As badass as they looked, you're like, take it off anyway, bitch.
They're like, you got to get close to use that. It's fine. We're
knowing full well, Aaron knows that the heads are interchangeable. You just give it a little and it's off.
Yep.
But they don't know that.
They don't know that. So he's like, oh, I get to keep it. They go in.
Like that.
Everybody in there just mean mugging. They don't have enough people to mean mug, so guys are running down the hallway to get in another room. You see a guy in the background, just out of breath.
Yeah, I thought for sure, I was like, they're not walking out of there alive, man.
Yeah, so
there's no way.
Then they get into the room with the. Did they tell us his name?
I forget. I don't remember. The warlord.
They get in the room with the
guy
warlord.
who we thought basically Pope.
Yeah, a little bit. A lot of it actually. And I thought he was a bit crazy and everything, but if you look at it from the other side, he's been through the same stuff that everybody at Alexandria Hilltop in the kingdom been through, where you had folks show up claiming one thing, but they're just wolves in sheep clothing.
Yeah.
Literally dealt with wolves.
Yeah.
So he was justified, and it just kind of got to him over time. It's we're done trying to trust people, because every time we do, we either get almost eaten, which that's happened to them. We get shot at, which that's happened to them a lot.
Yeah. So they're like a type and shadow of Rick's group, because we've seen Rick treat some new people rough before.
Yeah. So, and then the Oscar goes to Toby Carlson. Because
please don't hurt me.
He got this man. He said, "Get on your knees," with a Desert Eagle, which I don't know where he got that from, but he has it pointed to his head, because it's not. I thought it was Toby's gun, but it wasn't. Toby had a.
Was it it was the leader's gun? Oh, and it turned out he only had a couple shots in it.
Yeah, so he was saving them, I guess.
Yeah, it just so happened just enough for everybody in the room, which was interesting.
Boy, howdy.
Just enough for him to get outside and Dos Ex Machina and click. Yeah.
Because, I mean, at least it wasn't infinite bullets.
Yeah, it's that plot armor.
So, yeah. My plot armor hasn't run out yet. Great.
I'm saying, Aaron and Gabe, both of them in the comics, long gone.
Yeah.
Was it Aaron? Aaron was in the comics, yeah?
Aaron was in the comics.
Yeah. I mean, he's basically new Rick now, so.
Yeah. New Rick. Just give me old Rick.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, then he...
But so even like the warlord guy, like he was kind of crass or whatever about, they got hookers and everything too. Like he almost was giving me Merle vibes there for a second.
Yeah.
And, but then just to throw up the gun and just be and just kind of turn on him, I don't know,
he had made his decision already.
Yeah, it's they were building them up to be something, and then immediately back down off. Oh no, there's something else. That kind of threw me a little bit.
Yeah, and then he did raise a good point though. We have not seen the vices of society in Commonwealth. We don't know if drugs are a thing. I assume they may be. Weed is probably just growing everywhere. Don't know if they have a gambling hall or a casino of any kind.
I mean, we know that they have shoot, they do the lottery.
Yeah.
Was, which is like a whole new different reference to another old short story. What have you read that? Like back in literature class, there's like a short film about it too. So like the lottery it's like this Puritan town, and everybody's excited for the lottery and all these different things. And then come to the end of it, it's like this box, and everybody reaches in and pulls a ticket or a stone or something like that. And the one who wins gets stoned and is like the sacrifice for the crops for the year.
Huh?
Yeah, it's twisted. I mean, it's awesome. It stuck out in my head. But like, it kind of gave me that reference, but it's not quite the same. It's different, where it's like, oh yeah, we're so good to our people. We have a lottery where they can actually jump the class system. And it's like, oh sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
still kind of messed up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a messed
Well,
up story. Look that up. I bet it's on YouTube someplace.
Yeah.
The lottery.
Dear jeez.
It's dark, dude. It's dark.
Okay.
Like, I think that began my love affair with like David Fincher stuff and dark things. It's like, oh, that's nice. That's a dark twist.
Damn, Dylan.
Yeah. Explains a lot.
So, yeah. Back to the show. He was on his knees with a gun in his head. And then Gabe talked him down. And he was gonna let them go.
Even the little back and forth with Gabe and Aaron, because Gabe was still like, you know what? If we don't come back, they're just gonna rush in here and kill everybody. And Aaron was like, whoa, whoa, whoa!
He's like, stop going that far. No one has to die.
They're playing a little good cop, bad cop there. Except Gabriel was like, evil cop.
Gabe was like, you want to go, let's go.
I didn't get this dead eye for nothing.
And then, like, at the moment where, like, we think everything's calmed down and everything is cool, and, like, the doomsday clock is zipping away from hitting midnight, it just goes bing, because homie said, now it is my time. Flips the gun around, pocket, hit pocket.
That was awesome. That moment though, that was
Yeah.
pretty great.
I was like, wait, I literally said, what are you doing? Like, thinking he's still an idiot. And then he does the whole thing, keeping him as a hostage. And he goes out. And he, I guess, just starts shooting people.
We didn't know you was Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
Dude.
He has the guy there. He shoots him in the head. And then he kind of loses his stuff. Because...
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Like this guy's got some serious issues.
Yep.
Like, you lied to me. It's like, oh, what'd you expect? Like, he's just trying to survive, man.
Yeah. Did the whole...
Yeah, bruh.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. Y'all need to kill him.
Yeah, he lost his marbles.
Aaron was like, fam, no. He told the intern, you need to get now.
Hold on. So, in the midst of all this, like, Gabriel is just like, I don't like what's going on. I'm gonna hide around the corner and just punch this guy. He just straight up like snuck around the corner. It's like, luckily, Gabriel didn't get killed right there.
Yep.
And then of course Aaron's like, yeah, me too. Crack on somebody. Jeez,
Yep.
dude.
Then we had the moment where it's like, Aaron's finna die. He knows he's finna die. This sucks. And then, I'm good. Thanks.
I really wish they would do things like that. I wish they'd, like, I know there are a certain amount of time that they have to fit it all in, but stuff like that ruins it for me. It's just like, come on. Like, how many times you gonna do that? Like, you've only got a certain amount of times you can do that, and you're well beyond how many times you can do that.
Well beyond. So, but while all this was happening, there was a man who got new intro music and a new jacket just around the way, who happened to find our intern.
Bum, bum, bum. My man.
He comes around, intern's getting the horses. Where are you going? Same glasses? Oh, yeah, the glasses.
Yeah.
And he's like, you go here. Ask for Maggie. No one else. And he's like, all right. Intern, hole in shoulder, bleeding out. And that's how he got to the beginning of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
But then Aaron leaves after Gabriel is then hogtied. He's not hogtied. He's
Yeah, he just
tied.
runs off into the woods, and they're pew pew pew. Oh no, where'd he go? It's like
He finds
like
Maggie.
they literal stormtroopers.
Literal. Can't hit the broadside of a barn. Dear goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Also, womp rats are huge. just to say that. But yeah, finds Maggie, and that's how we get all of that. Because Maggie and them at that exact same time, after her and Lydia had the development conversation, saw 3 Commonwealth soldiers who were just in the middle of the road, and they went and killed them. But they had their throats slit. They were 3 that had their throats, so they died from this, and not from. So the.
Yeah, so that we haven't found out how that happened yet.
Yeah, which is what I believe next week's episode hopefully is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a continuation.
Yeah, because they focused on when they jumped out of the truck. They left the camera on that key dangling from the rearview mirror a little long, and I thought for sure we are going to see somebody sneak in that truck as they ran off forward toward the dead soldiers.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if those soldiers. I don't know where, because I can't remember exactly. Was there like a truck or something right there that they came from, or they just seemed to be walking up?
They're not too far from the camp.
Okay. So
And
they either came from the camp or they were part of that regiment that had the weapons.
Yep. Which would, yeah, because we still don't know who that is. Who did that?
Yeah.
So Negan's helping out these folks. Because then, yeah, now the stories of Aaron and Maggie meet up, so we're all caught up there after they went a week back, which was very funny.
Yeah. They kept going a week back in 1 hour.
Which it's always very fun, and I'm happy that they had fun with it because I laughed when they put in 1 hour, just to give us all the story. Negan's helping this lady whose name I also don't know, who is a part of this community.
Which, yeah, that kind of threw me off too, because I thought maybe Negan was part of a different group and not part of this Riverbend group, which is, I'm assuming Riverbend from the description is the apartment building.
Yeah, it has to be.
And there's a Riverbend nearby, I assume. I don't know. But
Better be.
with them being like almost like this warlord, religious, like Pope type situation, I was very surprised to see that Negan joined up with them.
Yeah.
Like, I understand Negan is a social creature and he doesn't do well on his own and all that kind of stuff.
Which is
But-
what made me. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, but yeah, so like at the beginning of the episode, where we're building up this leader to be some nut job, religious folk that pulls guns and threatens folks and screams at them, and like the governor keeps heads on a shelf, and then to turn around and Negan and the people are just like good old folks, salt of the earth,
Which is why I think the whole thing of like from them walking in and meeting him was a complete front, and he was doing it to strong arm them and to like, you can't give us this and try and take that without giving us the same thing back. Like, if we're gonna do this, we got to be on even ground. Ain't gonna be no.
Yeah. I get that to an extent because you want to show strength in the apocalypse and all this stuff, but bruh, man, was like, I don't know, just pulling the gun on the guy, and I don't know, and the heads on the shelf seemed to, like, at that point, like, who would want to be part of that community for them to go, oh, that's just for show, you know?
I honestly, I think he was gonna kill them just to be on the safe side, and I think that's to the point that they've gotten is like, if someone shows up and tries to like talk to us, and then they say they get two wrong answers. That's what they get, and you hit both of those. All right, on your knees, click, click, clack, clack, and end the story right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand you have to be careful, and the guy made a good point about, like, you know where I am, but I don't know where you're from. And then he seems like he was going to let them go when Aaron was pleading with him. But
after he threw that reasoning of, what do you have that we want? And he's like, the meat? You think we're cannibals? Aaron's over here like, I am wearing Versace. We are not cannibals.
It's like, we got MREs, my man. Why would we be eating folks?
I had cake and goat 2 days ago.
With goat's milk?
With goat's milk. So, yeah. This is Versace. So, but yeah, and he calmed down. So I do think, like I said, it was one of those situations of, it was something that wore down on him, just like we saw with the dude Gabriel just went up and like killed. I forgot his name.
Oh, the guy from Terminator 2.
Yeah,
yeah, one of those little extra episodes from season 10.
I think it was just calming him. Once they got him calmed down, and he was about to make the decision to leave, and then they flipped that switch again. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and Gabriel was in the position of Toby Carlson.
Yep.
He was just like, heck no, I ain't doing that. Ain't trusting this guy.
Not at all.
And then come find out he had his brother tied up upstairs.
What did they do with his brother?
I don't remember.
The episode ended.
No, his brother was already dead, I think. No, he wasn't dead?
He wasn't dead. The wife and the son were dead of the brother. But the brother, he had him tied upstairs, and he kept just feeding him because he had like big old beard and everything, because they went up there because they heard something and they found out he was still alive.
Oh, I think maybe Gabriel killed him too, maybe.
I think the episode ended. We just never found out what they did. They probably left him to starve.
Interesting. I couldn't see Aaron doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron has had his dark moments, but I don't know that he's ever been Gabe Dark before.
No, Gabe Dark is a different type of dark. Somebody has to do it, I guess. But yeah, so
That Preacher spinoff.
that'd be fun. This is a one-off episode. I'll deal with just Gabe being Gabe's last stand, and then he dies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go full on Western with Gabe.
Yeah, do it. He don't mind taking off the thingamabob. I actually don't know what it's called.
Yeah, this collar.
Yeah, that's all it's called?
I don't know. I'm sure there's an official name for it. I'm not Catholic. I don't know.
We'll ask. I'll say we'll ask a Catholic, but we just ask the internet. So,
Anywho.
Yeah. But yeah, so then we finally get back to, now we're at the rooftop. We get to the rooftop. Carlson's up there.
Yeah. Got any more of that alcohol?
Up there. Where are the guns? Where are my guns? Just where are they? I don't know. You really don't know, do you? Oh, I don't. That's cool, fam. I believe you. This is Sparta!
Straight up, man. And then we just hear him falling off the roof. While Negan and them are just like, oh no, what do we do? Like, these people aren't like warlords. They're just like, it had to be some kind of fun, I guess.
Yeah. Just like regular.
But it seemed like a huge disconnect between what we saw in that room with those people versus the regular people that live there.
There's
or even Negan and that lady that was with him, they seemed like I don't know, they just seemed like a different type of person.
Yeah, they're just like the regular folks, because it's one of those communities where you have your fighters, and then you have just the regular civilians. So just like how Commonwealth does, you have the army and you have your regular civilians. Yeah. Not everybody knows how to fight.
That's true.
Enjoying
the fruits of
trying to survive.
Yeah.
So we got the parties involved are Commonwealth, Maggie's group, Aaron, Gabriel.
Oh, you mean for this episode?
And Negan. We'll just say Negan by himself.
Yeah.
So there's a fifth party. There has to be, that we haven't seen any of their story yet.
You think so?
Because there's something missing. Something wackadoo is going on. Because these folks don't have the guns. Negan knows nothing about the guns.
Okay. Yeah.
And so
I don't know. I mean, I kind of think that maybe Lance is even playing a bigger game than what he's letting Toby Carlson know, and that I think he's using Toby to fill the gap, so he doesn't get discovered for stealing the guns for the uprising.
yeah,
So
we'll know for sure.
it's Shiva or Shira or whatever her name is.
Yeah,
That's those people that are pretending to be plumbers.
His hand.
We'll go Ben 10. We'll just call them plumbers.
The plumbers. I think depending on how this goes, I think they're gonna kill Carlson. At least I hope they do. He's been kicked off a building.
Nuts, man.
Yeah.
He's been on one too many CIA operations.
If they come back,
He needs some help.
the Commonwealth, and then he is framed, turns out he was stealing the guns, and it's a good job for Aaron and Gabriel that they did that.
Because Lance is going to try and manipulate the situation, come out on top, like he orchestrated the whole thing.
Like he orchestrated
knew exactly
the whole thing.
what was happening.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, when this dude went out there and he just went rogue. I don't know what happened, knowing that the guy was a loose cannon to begin with.
Yep. And he he has not told them what the actual mission was yet. So they actually don't know. They just know he's the one off.
Because according to them, they think this is the Commonwealth and this is actually what they do. But when they get back, if Lance spins it like, no, that guy just went off on his own, he was just a rogue element, then he could save face and try to rein it back in, because right now he's making enemies of very important people that he's going to need.
I didn't realize we had spy espionage in the apocalypse.
I told you, man, we're going Game of Thrones with this one.
Real talk.
We got Lance's little finger.
Oof.
Who did we say was Ned? Daryl?
Yeah, Daryl.
Daryl's Ned.
Oof.
And Lance's little finger.
Oof.
And we're going Game of Thrones on this.
Yeah. Pamela's son is Joffrey, and I got time for none of that mess.
Yeah. Pamela is I forgot her name.
Which one?
Cersei.
Oh yeah.
Pamela Cersei. Who is Tyrion? I think Aaron might be Tyrion. He's the one that speaks the most.
Aaron's Tyrion. Yeah, Aaron would be Tyrion.
Yeah, because he's playing. He's dealing with. He's trying to talk down Maggie and Lance and talk to Daryl and Mercer and everybody.
He's trying to make sense and keep some sort of a peace. Ooh. But who's Daenerys? Oh, fuck, Maggie.
Maggie Daenerys?
Maggie's Daenerys.
So that's another thing is with this spinoff coming with Maggie, and it's called Isle of the Dead. It's her and Negan, and they're going to Manhattan, and Manhattan is supposed to be like this. I'm assuming it's like this. shit. What's the one with Snake and Escape to New York?
Metal Gear Solid?
No, not the video game. The old
Escape
movie.
from Los Angeles?
Yeah, Escape from Los Angeles and Escape from New York.
Mm-hmm.
Where you've got Snake. I think it's like this Escape from New York situation where Manhattan is just like blocked off like an island into itself, and it is just overrun. But for whatever reason, they've got to go to Manhattan. And I don't know if that means that the Hilltop has fallen, or if it's for Hilltop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this at you right now because of what you said. What you said before we recorded of how it's supposed to, before we went live, but as how it's supposed to reshape the Walking Dead universe. Mm-hmm. I think on some super heavy, I'm about to curse, bullshit, they're going to Manhattan because there's a cure. Like there's an actual cure. And because it started in Manhattan, and it ended in, and it's gonna.
Did it start in Manhattan?
No,
it didn't. Or we just supposing?
Just supposing.
Okay.
That it started in Manhattan, because I mean Manhattan has it's what 1 million people in the city.
I don't remember.
It's
I know that like the whole city there's like 6 to 8, depending on what time of day it is.
God.
Yeah.
And
that's insane.
Yeah, and on some World War Z mess, as long as they don't start going running through this.
We might get runners.
I ain't got time for that.
No more walkers. We got runners.
Because I mean, the only ways that they can reshape the what? Are we done talking about the episode? By the way.
Sure.
Okay. The only way that they can reshape the entire Walking Dead universe is if A, they evolve the zombies, or B, if they introduce an end to the apocalypse. It's the only ways I can think of. That or aliens. So, but, yeah.
Different kind of dark tale is what they're calling it.
Alright.
I've got an article pulled up, but I didn't get a chance to read it.
So Maggie and Negan are gonna make a baby.
Oh God, I hope not.
And it's gonna be called Glenn. Please don't name the baby Glenn.
Like they are playing way like. So like you know how everybody was kind of like will they won't they with this whole at the part 1 between Maggie and Negan.
Yeah.
They're playing really hard into that right now, and I don't know if I'm okay with it.
Yep. I'm not.
Yeah, they said they're gonna. It's the spinoff will quote unquote reinvent The Walking Dead as we know it. Is what the article said.
There's only a couple ways to reinvent something. You've already like the past 3 seasons of The Walking Dead since Rick left has been a reinvention. So it's like, what are you about to do? Add in new weaponry? I don't know. There's not too much else you can do to change the core element of what's going on besides the fact that you add an end to it.
I know with all of these other spinoffs going on, I don't know that they're ever gonna reach an end. Yeah. It ventures into quote unquote zombie swamped Manhattan. Enemies, Maggie and Negan form a fragile truce in the 11th and final season. Okay, yeah. That's just catching us up on their relationship.
Negan
says, I'm delighted that Negan and Maggie's journey continues. It's been such a ride walking in Negan's shoes. I'm beyond excited to continue his journey in New York City with Lauren, Morgan said in the statement. Walkers in an urban setting has always been such a cool image, but Fifth Avenue, Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty, the greatest city in the world, the backdrop is amazing, but the story that Eli Journay cooked up is even better. They travel into a post-apocalyptic Manhattan long ago cut off from the mainland. The crumbling city is filled with the dead and denizens who have made New York City their own world full of anarchy, danger, beauty, and terror. The spinoff is set to premiere in 2023. So, no word on whether it's a limited series or what's going on with that, or if it's just kind of like
Urban Mad Max, maybe.
It's basically like if you've seen Escape to New York or Escape from New York, it's kind of like you've got these different gang type things on each corner, and as they're like running through the city, you know, they're encountering all these like different, it's nuts. Could you imagine like these warlords that have taken over city blocks and things like that?
Negan, come out and play.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Oh, all right. Whatever, I guess. Somebody said yes 3 times. You have to say yes a lot before a show gets created and like announced and made. So
I'm saying, so far these are the spinoffs we've got. We've got this new one. We still got Fear the Walking Dead. So I guess that's the Negan spinoff that we've been hearing about.
Wow.
Supposedly there's a comedy type spinoff coming that's kind
that.
of based off of, which could be hilarious.
Yeah.
Poke fun. I really hope it pokes fun at itself, like Rick and Morty style type thing, right?
Yes.
Like Lower Decks type thing. Dead in the Water spinoff is supposed to be a spinoff of Fear. Then we got Tales of the Walking Dead. If that's the one that's got like Terry Crews in them, and TWD Origins. I think that one's supposed to go back and kind of tell other stories that we haven't gotten from characters we've seen before. And then we've got a Daryl and Carol spinoff, and still possibly the Rick Grimes movies. I mean, I'm going to be upset if they spread themselves so thin. Like, you've been telling apocalypse stories about how to survive and not spread yourself so thin. Please tell me you've learned that in show running, you cannot spread yourself so thin with spinoffs that you don't finish plot A.
Yeah.
So please, please, please finish the Rick Grimes story and let us see him and Michonne reunite with Judith and Daryl, and everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Like at this point, like we haven't heard, and I know some of it plays into COVID and all that kind of stuff. Things got put on hold, but it's been on the back burner almost too long now. Where it's kind of like, what is going on? And I know we're still getting excited because Andrew Lincoln, he was in Georgia for a week. Oh my God, what's going on? I mean, everybody's still excited about Rick. I mean, Rick. But and they still got Rick in the intro.
Yeah.
So, are we like, what's going on with this? You got to give us an update. Whet our appetite somehow.
Just one thing. So with the intro, something that would be really cool if they did it. Like if Rick is going to appear in any episode this season, how he
Seems likely.
You've pointed out before that they changed the intro in little subtle ways, like with the whispers. There were like some whispers, like walkers, and the little herds they had that were like red, and those supposed to be whispers.
We had little stitched up masks, and now we've got some Commonwealth soldiers.
In the background, you see hordes walking. I also think that's going to change, and eventually we're going to see the horde walking to like an army over here, and then an army over here. But it would be really neat. And feel free to take this idea, AMC. This is directly to you. If in the intro, where Rick is up there holding his side and everything, and you have the explosion, and the bridge, is on fire and everything, but then what if it gave it a 4 more seconds? The fire's out, and he's just standing there looking at the bridge, and then
Unharmed?
like unharmed.
Well, we already saw him harmed when Jadis put him on the helicopter.
I mean, like, explosion, fire out. He's standing there looking at the aftermath of the bridge.
Oh, okay.
And then continue on.
Interesting. Okay.
But very quickly.
Yeah.
So,
So we're also supposed to get some kind of tie-ins to Fear, because those stories have increasingly with the CRM and all these different things. The CRM and the Commonwealth, Gimple said that we're supposed to find out if they are aware of each other here soon. And we saw Jadis as part of the CRM now, so apparently that's where they've taken Rick and not the Commonwealth. So, I mean, the CRM seems a lot more militant based, just out there in the open than the Commonwealth, even though the Commonwealth does have their militant arm. And I don't know where the CRM. I did not watch World Beyond, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they even revealed where the CRM is located. World Beyond and all that stuff. You know, you've got the 3 communities, and each of them represents one of the letters in CRM. And so we saw in World Beyond one of them. What was it? The monument.
It was the college that they ended up turning into a community.
Yeah, and then the I forget what the R was. I think that's one of the main. That's what the place with the helicopters, or whatever. So we're assuming C was common. Yeah, we're assuming the C is Commonwealth, but I don't. To be honest, like I said, I have not watched. I'm not caught up on Fear. I'm not caught up on World Beyond. This is my bread and butter. I don't care about the other ones too much, which is frustrating when they try to blend them all together, which make you watch everything. It's like bring Morgan back.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, for real. We need a oh shoot, what's it like when you can go get a Cliff Notes to get us caught up on this stuff. So I mean, maybe at the end we're gonna see Rick show up in armor at the door of the Commonwealth or something. I don't know.
Who knows? It'll be cool.
Somebody knows.
Somebody knows.
Not us.
So we're getting that writer from to see what's going on.
Yep.
All right.
So, next episode.
Season 11, Episode 14. Rotten.
So I mean, it's obviously going to be a play on words with the Rotters, but also probably Lance and who is bringing all these together. We're on episode. Let's see. We started with episode 9, and each part is 8 episodes. So we
17,
still.
we got 3 more.
So yeah, we got 3 more after next week, right?
Yeah.
15, 16, 17, yeah. So like 5 more episodes in this part. Well, yeah. 14, 15, 16, 17.
Counting 14, it's 4.
Okay, I'm bad at math. Anyways.
Yeah. If you count,
That's why I'm in the arts.
If you count 14, it's 4. If we watch episode 14, then we'll get 3.
Okay, so 4 starting next week.
Yeah.
4 more episodes in part 2, and it's part 2 has been pretty exciting so far. I like where it's going. Like they got this espionage aspect going on, which is new to The Walking Dead. I really liked last week's episode with Eugene and everything, and this one was pretty good. I'm really excited to see where part 3 is going to take us, and how long we're going to have to wait for that, because I think we had to wait 2 months for part 2.
I feel like longer.
That ended sometime. Was it in November when it ended?
That was
and then it kicked up
October.
in about Valentine's Day.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was Valentine's Day weekend when part 2 started.
If it, what week will we be in another month by the time this ends? This part? Because it'll take.
Yeah, another 4 weeks.
It'll probably be like July. I feel like July or August.
Yeah, good lord, man, they were dragging this season out. They might as well have just made it another whole nother season.
Yeah, just because thinking how primetime TV works, they usually take their spring break around this time, and then everybody gears up in May, and then they finish out their season, and you don't see anything again until August. So,
but if they're filming final episodes right now with Andrew Lincoln there, or if they're filming last episode. Surely not. They're not filming last episodes. I know that they work on things up to the minute sometimes. But man, if they're filming, if they're gonna have Rick show up at the end of part 2, that would be nuts. Like that would be a good cliffhanger.
Yep, that'd be like, all right, cool. When can I get this again?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then in between, if they gave us a Rick special,
I mean, that would be great.
That'd be the
there's
closest
no way
they would probably get to a movie, but
yeah, I don't think they're gonna have time to film that to put that out before.
no.
Unless they film it over there in London secretly and we didn't know what was going on.
They could
That's
have.
very possible. I don't know. I mean, Pinewood. There's a Pinewood studio over there in London as well as in Georgia. So I mean, it's possible. It, you know, not very likely, I think, but it's very possible.
That would be a great surprise.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. All right.
Yep. So,
Anything else?
I'm just excited to see it wrap up and where things are going. I'm actually kind of getting excited for some of these spin-offs because they involve the main characters. But yeah, I really wish they wouldn't announce all this until the very end. Because what they're doing, they're using these things to keep people's interest. Because I know some people, they don't give two shits about this whole espionage thing that I'm loving as part of part 2 because it's not The Walking Dead, you know. And there are some parts of The Walking Dead I said the same thing, where this isn't The Walking Dead, this isn't zombies, this isn't walkers, you know, whatever. But this is different. I mean, even, you know, where they got into the communities and all that stuff, and it was less walkers of a threat. But I don't know. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Excited to see where they go. Just don't borrow excitement now. Don't use these to build excitement when it's going to shoot you in the foot in the long term.
Yep.
Because now we know that four separate characters most likely not dying.
Most likely.
Yeah, because I mean there are rumors that the Daryl Carroll spinoff is a ruse, and that Daryl is actually going to, or Norman Reedus is actually going into the MCU to play Ghost Rider.
Okay. That would be hilarious.
Yeah,
But that they trick us that way, but you know.
for sure.
So, okay. All right.
And that's all I got. You got anything else?
No.
Okie dokie. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We hope that you will join us live. Whether you're on, let's list these again: YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. Where did it go? Potentially TikTok coming up, Trovo, which is a new one, and Twitter. We hope that you will join us live every Sunday night at about 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. So please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon on whatever platform you're watching. And don't forget to check out that website at www.broken.pictures.com. I'm Dylan.
I'm Quin.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye-bye.